The following, always something happens on the intro. The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And a definite, genuine good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for the second day of, it's Groundhog Day. And we're going to have a groundhog game, as it turns out. How about that? If you were with us yesterday, we just had more trouble than Carter had little liver pills. So if you thought that you watched the Mariners and the Red Sox today, Anomo and Aaron Seeley going at it from Seattle yesterday, well, you did. But it didn't count because we foobarred the blessed thing about several times. So we have a doubleheader today. The games of May 2nd, 2022. 2001, how about that? Will be first. It is the Red Sox and the Mariners. It's brought to you by Ewing Oil because just like Bobby Ewing, some things just never happened. So it's Hideo Nomo and Aaron Seeley in the opener, and then game two of our doubleheader, unless this one goes 14, 15 innings, will be the Philadelphia Phillies hosting the San Francisco Giants, two teams in second place in their respective divisions, easy for me to say, in the National League. So it's 2 hours of baseball for you. How about that? On a Groundhog Day, and you get the Groundhog Special next on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents 2001, A Season Odyssey. Today, a doubleheader, a makeup doubleheader, if you will. The opening game between from Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington, between the Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox. Brought to you by Bobby Ewing Oil because, hey, anything can be a dream if you think hard enough. And DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. How you doing? Good morning, Forrest. And so we're going to pretend that it just didn't happen yesterday, and so no fatigue or anything like that. I think Seattle was winning when all hell broke loose, so I am running the Red Sox as I normally do. It is former Red Sox pitcher Aaron Seeley who gets the call for Seattle. 31 years old, curveball pitcher. You made it just in time for a doubleheader, Forrest. Curveball pitcher at 84 and a ground ball pitcher. He's 31, making his sixth start of the year. We had him his last time out. No, it wasn't yesterday. Shh. That never happened. His last start that accounted was April 27th against the White Sox in Chicago. Actually, I think it was here. No, it was in Chicago. 6 innings, no decision, and a 6-5 loss to the White Sox. 94 pitches, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a homer, and walked 4. So overall for Aaron, 32 in the third innings, 30 hits, 16 runs all earned. He's given up 3 homers. He has walked 7, struck out 17, has a record of 1-1 with an earned run average of 4.45. I always read those last, because the record and ERA are probably the most important stats, but they're put last when I do this. Lineup, he'll face Chris Steins leads off at second base. Trot Nixon in right for the Red Sox bat second. Carl Everett in center goes third. Manny Ramirez cleans up as the DH. Troy O'Leary in left will bat fifth. The captain, Jason Varitek, will bat sixth. Shea Hillenbrand at third will bat seventh. Brian Daubach at first goes eighth. And Mike Lansing at short will bat ninth. Hideo Nomo is on the mound and should throw about 110 pitches. I hope that Todd B. and Tribe Fan chime back in because we had a pretty good conversation going yesterday that will never see the light of day on YouTube just because the broadcast was foobarred. By the way, a beautiful night here in Seattle, 62 degrees and calm winds. There we go, John. In fact, you get the second game today. How about that? Mark McLemore is 6-3 in left. As we set the Mariner defense, Stan Javier is 6-2 in center. Ichiro is at 10-8 in right. David Bell at 6 at third. Carlos Guillen at 3 at short. Brett Boone is 6 at second. John Olerud a 6 at first. Tom Lampkin is 5 and a 3 behind the plate. And Seeley goes, are you actually going to do this right today, Ronnie? Yes. Yes, we are. He's an 8 on the mound with a .970 fielding percentage. Stein stepping in at 194 with a solo homer. And this one starts with a liner in the left center for a base hit. McLemore will pick it up. And the Red Sox are off to a good start. In fact, Steins is going to turn for 2. Yeah. We'll send him the throw to Boone from McLemore, and Chris has his first double of the year. So that's the start the Red Sox wanted. Here's Trot Nixon, 321, 7 homers, and 12 RBI. Aaron Seeley came up for, John says, I remember when Aaron Seeley came up like a cannonball with the Red Sox, early 90s. Didn't last long. A serviceable pitcher for years, but he wasn't Roger Clemens. And I believe that's how, if there's one organization that overtouts their prospects historically, it is the Red Sox. Pitch to Nixon. Trot sends this one into right. Ichiro, he'll wait and will make the catch for the out. Steins will tag and will hold with 1 out. You don't want to be a double play. And that'll bring up Carl Everett, 253, 5 homers, and 18 RBI. You don't want to, I think this might be, I haven't really played a lot of future or 21st century seasons. I'm looking at Ichiro's arm. I bet 8 is the weak spot for him until he turned about 35. Pitch to Everett. There's a ground ball up the middle. Boone by the bag at second. Over to first, and Carl's retired. Steins moves to third. 2 out. So Manny Ramirez at 309. 6 homers and 18 RBI. Game 2, by the way, will be our Star Wars game. We'll see if anyone asks why. So Manny, his first year in Boston. This is game 27 for both teams. The Red Sox 16-10, and the Mariners 17-9 with a healthy 6-game bulge over Oakland. Seeley kicks and fires. Manny to third. Bell over to first, and that will retire the side. They'll strand Steins. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. So Hideo Nomo making his 6th start of the year. He beat the Twins his last time out on the 26th. Remember, in 01, his first start with the Red Sox came on April 4th, and that was a no-hitter. He and Don Orsillo broke in with the Red Sox quite well. Thank you very much. Because that was Don Orsillo's first game. Against the Twins, in a 5-1 win, 5 innings, 108 pitches. 4 hits, a run it was earned. He gave up a homer, walked 4, striking out 6. So 2-0 with a 1.78 ERA. In his Fenway debut on the 10th of April, he fanned 15. So overall, 30 1/3 innings, 20 hits, 6 runs all earned, 4 homers. He has walked 12 while striking out 39. Should go about 110 pitches. And that should get you into the 7th. Lineup he'll face. It's Ichiro leading off for Seattle in right. Mark McLemore in left batting second. Edgar Martinez will bat third and be the DH. John Olerud at first cleans up. Brett Boone at second will bat fifth. Stan Javier in center goes 6th. Lampkin behind the plate going 7th. David Bell batting 8th at third, and Carlos Guillen at short going 9th. Seeley threw 13 pitches in his half of the first. Defensively for the Red Sox, Troy O'Leary is a 5 and a 2 in left. Carl Everett is a 3 and a 4 in center. Trot Nixon is a 4 and a 7 in right. Shea Hillenbrand a 4 at third. Mark Lansing is a 3 at short. Chris Stein's a 3 at second. No one's handing out gold gloves to the Red Sox this year. Brian Daubach a 5 at first. Jason Varitek is an 8 on behind the plate with a 5 arm. And Nomo, a good fielder. He's an 8 with a 973 fielding percentage. Ichiro, 308, 3 homers and 10 RBI. Nomo starts his afternoon with a fly ball to right. Nixon, he's the one out. That's a mouthful and a half right there, Ron. Here's Mark McLemore, 178, 2 triples and 6 RBI. A cool evening here in Seattle. As we said, 62 degrees, no real wind, and the roof is open. McLemore pops it up, right side. Brian Daubach reaching over and will not make the catch. Somebody from Bellingham made that grab, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. So Nomo not allowed to blow on his hands quite yet, trying to figure out how to keep the hands warm. Delivers the 0-2, struck him out. So 1-2 curveball tipped in the glove of Jason Varitek, and there's 2 out for Edgar Martinez at 295, 6 homers and 22 RBI. Nobody on, 2 out. Doubleheader day here on Retro Sports Network because yesterday was a wash, and tomorrow will be Cleveland and Tampa at noon. Pitch to Edgar is a ground ball to Hillenbrand, and Shea just can't grab a handle on that, and Edgar reaches on the air. So here's Olerud, 289, 3 homers and 10 RBI. So we'll be with you over the weekend, Sunday, special time for the 6:30 p.m. Sunday night to pre-play the 2023 NFL Championship. So it'll be the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles 1 week before they face off in real life, and we'll be using 2nd and 10 for that. 6:30 Sunday night. And we'll post that on the Facebook group as well. So 2 out for Olerud, 289, 3 homers and 10 RBI. John, I know you're working and all that. Are you an Eagle fan as well? Pitch to Olerud, and he draws the walk. So it's runners on 1st and 2nd, 2 out for Brett Boone at 381. Thundering start, 7 homers and 23 RBI, and hey, it's only the 2nd of May. So 2 on, 2 out for Nomo and Boone. Hideo rocks and fires. That is popped up. Lansing calling for it. He'll be on the grass, and that will retire the side. Mariners can't take advantage of the air. No runs, no hits, no errors. They strand 2. We've played 1, and there is no score. What is the correct term for that? Is it no score or scoreless? Had to look it up. Seeley gave up only 4 runs in his first career starts. Wow. And ended up with 11 quality starts out of 18 down the stretch. They contended in 93. Of course, the Blue Jays, that was right in their wheelhouse. Here's Troy O'Leary, 268, 5 homers and 14 RBI. Seeley starts the 2nd, struck him out. Got him on a 1-2 curve on the inside corner. So here's Jason Varitek, 247, 4 homers. Remember, he only had 174 real-life at-bats and 11 RBI. Seeley winds and deals, and Varitek strikes out. A full count curve. Got him looking, and there's 2 out. So we got a good morning and a good afternoon from Seeley. And let's see if Hillenbrand gives the Mariners a good night. 294, a homer, and 5 RBI. Forrest, if you're still with us, who are you rooting for on Super Sunday? Pitch to Hillenbrand. Ground ball to Olerud. John takes it to the bag, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 2nd here at Safeco. It's the Red Sox nothing, the Mariners nothing. So Javier, Lampkin, and Bell to face Nomo. Stan at 200, a homer, and 2 RBI. Seeley wasn't really all that touted until he was close to ready. Not like the incredible Bobby Zubcic, Pat Dobson. Hopefully no one tried to retire on his rookie cards. Sam Horn. Got him. 2-2 splitter on the outside half, and there's one out for Lampkin. 256 for Tom, a homer, and 5 RBI. Nomo kicks and fires, and Lampkin strikes out. A fastball inside on a full count, and Lampkin just, that had some good movement. A good two-seamer, and there's 2 out for Bell. So that's 3 for Nomo. Bell at 293, 5 homers, and 15 RBI. Nomo looking for the side, won't get it. Ground ball to third. Hillenbrand has it, throws it along the way, and that will retire the side. Mariners go in order. We've played 2. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2, it is all bagels in Seattle. So Daubach, Lansing, and Steins for the Sox here in the third. Bryan at 224. 3 homers and 11 RBI. We continue our Aaron Seeley broadcast, drafted in the 37th round out of high school by the Twins. But he was drafted first round by the Red Sox out of college. And Bob Zubcic is from John's neck of the woods from Bristol, Pennsylvania, about 5 miles from your house. That's cool. I asked, I'm not sure if you heard, are you an Eagle fan as well? Are you really excited about the Super Bowl, or you just like the food? We gave you Dauber's numbers. Seeley delivers, and there's a fly ball, left center. Javier moving over. 1 out for Lansing. Mike at 358, because I can read. 2 homers and 9 RBI. I honestly think in 2001, with the amount of these pictures that are actually... Aha! So John is definitely rooting for Andy Reid and the Chiefs on Super Sunday. No, he spelled out the word Eagles all in caps. So we will pre-play the NFL Championship 1 week before the real game, Sunday at 6:30, right here on Retro Sports Network. Lansing at 358, 2 homers and 9 RBI. Again, these shots that we're using here for pictures, a lot of them are studio shots, obviously for the web to be seen in small packages. Got him! Seeley got him to swing and a miss on an 0-2. So 2 out for Steins. Aaron, 33 pitches, 2 2/3 for this opening 9, a hit, and 3 strikeouts. Steins doubled to start the ball game and was left at third. Aaron's pitch, Steins into right. Ichiro moving over into right center. Comes in to make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the third here in game 1 of our doubleheader. Red Sox nothing, Mariners nothing. John's nephew, who is from New Hampshire, was visiting during Super Bowl 52. Hard to believe that was 5 years ago. He's a Pats fan. He's coming down to watch the game with us for good luck. Eagles are his number 2 team. You trained him quite well. Here's Carlos Guillen at 260, a homer and 6 RBI. I think that what I did for my pre-play in Fast Drive Football was pretty close to how that game turned out. I don't know what the spread is. I think last time I looked, it was Eagles 2.5. I definitely think the Eagles are the better team coming in, and it all depends on what Mahomes and his ankle feel like. Pitch to Guillen. Got him. That's 4 for Hideo. Guillen chased. A 1-2 fastball up and away. So 1 out. Nomo opening 9, 2 1/3, 42 pitches, a walk and 4 strikeouts. Ichiro nursing a 12-game hitting streak, and he's 0 for 1. High ground ball to Nomo towards first, fires it to Daubach, and there's 2 out. So here's McLemore. He struck out his first time up. Red Sox and Mariners, 1-2. Then we go the vet for the Giants and the Phils on Star Trek night. Ground ball is short. Lansing. Hard throw. McLemore has wheels, and Marcus out on a bang-banger. That was close, but he was out, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the fourth. No score. So Nixon, Everett, and Ramirez in yet another pitcher's duel. We've had a bunch, including the game that didn't happen yesterday. Trot is 0 for 1. Seeley, 39 pitches through 3. He can go about 105, so that would probably get him in the 8th. Nixon, slow ground ball to Guillen in the hole. Carlos throws to first, and that is an out. Those gosh darn knees slowed him down, Brad said. And since I'm playing the Red Sox, we know that Brad's rooting for the Mariners. And just for that, we took away Brad's Reds game, which was supposed to be the Friday game. We actually haven't had the Phillies on. And let's actually see if we can do a Giant game that Barry Bonds plays. Here's Carl Everett. He's 0 for 1. Chris Stein's former Wood. Why would I root for the M's? I thought of you when I was doing the Bobby Hull tribute Monday night. They were owned by Nintendo. He's talking about the Mariners, Brad is. I'm a PlayStation guy. Well, this is going to turn into a Coke and Pepsi there. No, because NHL equals Big Loot. No, because the Blackhawks lost the Bobby Hull tribute game, thanks to Gordie Howe. But a typical Ron tribute game where the team of being honored gets beat. Pitch to Everett. Carl swings into right center. Ichiro going back, way back there, and that ball is gone. Ichiro finally ran out of green grass, and he's not Super Mario, brother. He couldn't leap for that. And so it's 1-0 Boston on Everett's 6th of the year. Here it is again. Everett just hammered that. And Gordie's goals were beautiful, by the way. I have a newfound appreciation of Roger Crozier. So there wasn't anything Ichiro could do about that. Everett puts it about halfway up in the right center in the first deck. And that's the first run of the ball game. It's 1-0 Boston here in the top of the 4th. So here's Manny. He's 0 for 1. Got him. So Seeley recovers. Manny tips it in the glove of Lampkin on the 2-2 curve, and there's 2 out. So here's O'Leary. He struck out. A cool night in Seattle, but still not blown in the hands. Wind chills here, by the way, Saturday morning, 45 below 0. O'Leary, a ground ball to first. Olerud to the bag, and that will do it. So, 1 run, first run of the game, the solo homer by Everett in the right center on a hit, no errors. Bottom of the 4th here at Safeco, 1-0 Boston. And if you were with us yesterday, you weren't with us yesterday. So here are the standings as we play the games of May 2nd. Florida, a 3-game lead over the Phils. The Mets are hanging in there. Atlanta, we talked about this taping Digital Dice yesterday. 10-17 and have lost 7 of 10. At some point, they are way underperforming now. In the Central, Cincinnati coming back down to earth. St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and Houston just kind of waiting. Junior hasn't torn his hammy yet. When does that happen? Although Junior hasn't played, we've done a couple Reds games, as you know, and I don't think Griffey has started any of them. Colorado rules the West. They've won 9 of 10 in 5 straight. And San Francisco's 5-game winning streak got them over San Diego and onto the stream this weekend. Yankees lead the Red Sox by half a game. Tampa by 2. Cleveland and Tampa is tomorrow's game. Chicago 19-5. Have some chicken, Brad. And last but not least, Seattle with a 6-game lead over Oakland, even though they've only played 500 ball. So Edgar to the plate. Edgar is 0 for 1. Brad says, I see Junior hasn't torn a hammy yet this season. And that's why I said, well, you know, he really hasn't played in the 2-3 games that we've done the Reds. And Brad says he had so many injuries, I don't remember which was when. Which is why Brad is a hard-boiled Cincinnati Red fan. And then Brad with a good joke. It's like keeping track of Wade Boggs as his mistresses. You just do what Steve Garvey did and buy an airline. Pitch to Edgar. And there's a fly ball left field. That's a hard hit. O'Leary in the corner, and Troy will track it down. 1 out. That was funny. Here's Olerud. John walked his first time up. Stick with the stewardesses, and you never have to worry about a cold night. In the right center, Everett. And Stein's moving out there. Everett coming in, makes the catch, 2 out. Hard-boiled equals the only man in the Queen City poo-pooing Big Doggy's Hall of Fame election that year. Talk about fun sports radio calls. Just remember, no late hits. I saw that Francesa was ranting on Brady, and I kind of wonder if we get into August and San Francisco says, Tommy, we love you, Tommy, if he'll do it. So, what, in a nutshell, what was Francesa's take on the now retired Tom Brady? Brett Boone, by the way, is 0 for 1. Pitch from Nomo. Is a hard shot up the middle. Everett will pick it up on a hop. And that is on a poor play by Everett, which means he couldn't get a jump. The first hit for the Mariners, coming with 2 outs here in the 4th. Here's Javier. He struck out his first time up. Nomo kicks and fires. Struck him out. That's 5 for Hideo on the outside corner. No runs, 1 hit, no error. The Mariners have left 3. We go to the 5th here at Safeco. 1-0 Boston. Oh, give me a break. I don't agree with that at all. Brady's only the GOAT because of longevity. Montana's the greatest in the Super Bowls. I don't know. Tom won 7. And Peyton's the greatest in the regular season. Let me remind you that Brady went to 11 Super Bowls, was it? An insane amount. It shut up Stephen A. Smith. Now, that I would have paid to see. He couldn't argue. So here's Veritek. Jason struck out his first time up. Someone wants to throw me some money. I won't mention any about how the M's got blasted for this trade. Pitch to Veritek. There's a ground ball to Seeley. Aaron over to first. 1 out, or for the out. And that is 1 out. For Hillenbrand. 0 for 1. Now did Francesa go gaga over the thought of Aaron Rodgers with the Jets? Pitch to Hillenbrand. Shea hits this one hard in the left. McLemore waits for it, makes the catch, and there's 2 out. Here's Daubach, who's 0 for 1. John says, normalizing everything for the era, I think I take Montana. Pitch to Dauber, who's 0 for 1. Fly ball right field. Suzuki. Ichiro in the corner makes the catch, and that will do it for the first half of this one. So on a 25-degree cloudy day in Burlington, no runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home in game 1, 1-0 Boston. And that excess swallowing presented by Sprite Zero Sugar. At least I think that's what she poured in here. I like it anyway. If you joined us late, here's how we got here as we hit high noon here in the east. Carl Everett, a solo homer in the fourth to right center, and that's been the only run. So take 2 of this game, and it's been just as much of a pitcher's duel, if not more, than what we were doing yesterday. So Nomo, a 1-hitter through 4, a walk and 5 strikeouts. Seeley, a 2-hitter through 5, the homer, and 4 strikeouts. John says Montana helped revolutionize the offense. Well, sub today. Actually, that goes back to Kenny Anderson, but could you imagine if he wasn't allowed to be touched by the defense? I think the argument for Brady is he won the Super Bowl without Belichick. I think the argument for Montana was he didn't really get the chance to finish his career in San Francisco. He won the 4 Super Bowls, and I'm not sure, I don't know how well Young and Montana get along now, but that just kind of seemed unfair to Joe. And Joe, remember, had 2 serious injuries against the Giants in the playoffs, the first in '86 and the second in '90. Lampkin, by the way, struck out his first time up. Nomo starts the 5th. Another strikeout. That's 6. So full count fastball outside. Good morning, Tribe fan. So this is the game pretty much where it was starting to crash yesterday. Here's Bell. He's 0 for 1. A great day for baseball, Steve Tate. Brad gives Brady with 1 game to win, I probably would go with Montana as well. But it's hard to undersell Brady's accomplishments. Pitch to Bell. There's a ground ball to Steins over to first for the out. 2 out for Guillen, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So 1-0 Red Sox in the bottom of the 5th. Guillen goes down again. That's 7 for Nomo. Fastball on the inside corner, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5, 1-0 Boston. So Lansing, Steins, and Nixon. I suppose that could be the thought-provoking question of the week. Lansing struck out. I think if you go for era, if you normalize everybody, and I'm just throwing this into the conversation, Otto Graham and Sammy Baugh. We're going back 40s and 50s for those 2. But if you look at what Baugh and Graham did for their respective offenses, they have to be in the conversation. Pitch to Lansing. Mike swings. That's into left field. McLemore backs up and will make the catch. And I suppose that brings up another question about stats is how do you define different eras? Chris Steins, by the way, doubled. He's 1 for 2. That double came to start the game. 18 batters for Seeley. 67 pitches, 5 2/3. 2 hits. A homer. No walks and 4 strikeouts. With Steve Tate watching, he'll tell you, because he's the one that does a lot of the franchise files, that even in baseball, there are equivalency differences between eras. I mean, if you put up a team from 1930 in the high offense and 1968, which was a dead ball season, how do you get those to work out? It's quite clear that Brady is the best player of the 21st century, 23 years in. But I would argue with you. Rain delay from yesterday? Yep, no, we picked this one up right from the start. So 1-0 Red Sox, a homer by Everett in the fourth. But how would you do that for football errors? Pitch to Steins, Chris. Ground ball, Seeley, left side off the mound. Long throw to first for the out. And there's 2 out for Nixon, who's 0 for 2. One game with everything on the line. Steve's going to go with Eric Hipple, which just tells me that the Krylon counter at Home Depot and Steve are good friends. Well, he'll huff and puff on that. He's a Lions fan. Greg Landry? I thought you'd go for the piano player, Harrington. That is a great question. Actually, that might be how do you define an era in football? Because you don't really want to take anything away from Brady. And Brady's fourth quarter record is tremendous. But it really isn't the same game that it was in Montana's day. And certainly wasn't the same game from Otto Graham or Johnny Unitas or Bart Starr or Joe Namath. I mean, pitch to Nixon. Struck him out. That's 5 for Seeley. We're just kind of cruising right along. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 Red Sox. So Nomo, his opening 18, 5 innings, 76 pitches. A hit, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Ichiro is still on a 12-game hitting streak, and he's 0 for 2. People look at Joe Namath's numbers today. I'll get to that in a second. Steve playing right along. Sniff the metallic stuff, a better high. Kids, don't do that. Go for the gold, at least. That's what your paint-sniffing clients said back in your law enforcement days. It's just like drinking Jägermeister, right? That's why we do these live, to get me to crack up. Pitch to Ichiro. There's a fly ball right center. Everett will move over and make the catch, 1 out. To get back to Namath, people wonder, why is he a Hall of Famer? Is it just for that one game against the Colts in Super Bowl III? You have to understand that in the 60s, a 50% completion rating for most teams was very good. A card and dice guy, and I'm not talking Tony Porter, over on the Strat forum, just did a full 68 AFL replay. And there wasn't a quarterback, and we're talking Namath and Len Dawson and Darryl LaMonica and stuff like that, that hit over, and John Hadel, that didn't hit over 50%. Namath was exceptional for his day. Now those numbers look bad, but you can't look at the late 60s with a 2023 lens. Pitch to McLemore. Nomo got him. That's 8. So an 0-2 curveball in there at the knees, and there's 2 out. I'm playing any football projects offline since I'm not streaming it anymore. I'm trying to find one that I like. I've been doing manual card and dice for Strat using the computer, and I like that. I really do like that. I think 2nd and 10 is a heck of a game as well. There's nothing wrong with Action PC. A half hour is about all I can do for a football game. And my brain starts to turn to mush. Edgar Martinez is 0 for 2. Nomo kicks and fires with 2 out. High fly ball, left field. O'Leary's going to chase this one down. Will it stay in the park on a cold night? No, it does stay in the park, but it hits off the hand-operated scoreboard in left field, and that's a double. So a 2-out double, and that's only the 2nd hit for Seattle. We're not trying to poo-poo the baseball game. Here's Olerud. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Steve says, very true. In my 5-year slice, you can see quarterbacks get compared to the completion percentage in yards for the stat that enables some good cross-era calibration. Are you adjusting those per era? How are you doing that? I bet you've done a video on that. If you're not following Steve Tate on YouTube, you should. Yeah, 55% completion percentage and 76 is scads better than 55% in 1990. Olerud 0 for 1 with a walk. Nomo delivers, and he walks Olerud. So now remember, I'm managing the Red Sox. I got to watch pitch count. 97 here with 2 out in the 6th. For Brett Boone, who was 1 for 2, he's got himself a single. Nomo winds and deals. That's in the right. Nixon in the corner. Trot will trot this one down and make the catch. So the Mariners strand 2. They've left on 5 overall. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 6, 1-0 Red Sox. John says, playing a 72 football project, short season with random schedule, Namath 13 of 27 for 181. Not impressive, but the 2 TDs were bombs. They crushed the Lions 38-17. Which engine, buddy? And the other thing with Namath is that if his knees had held out, who knows what he would have done. Everett, a solo homer tonight. Ground ball to second. Boone over to first. 1 out. A dirty secret for baseball is that it pretty much is the same. Although this was what we thought was an offensive era, but if you only remember 2001 from these streams, it's not. Manny's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And there's a fly ball, right field. Suzuki, strat cards and dice. Okay. Makes the catch. 2 out for each. The game adjusts for you. That's right, because you can select the era. Here's Troy O'Leary. He's 0 for 2 with the strikeout. So Bradshaw set to 78. We'll compare his quarterback numbers in comparison to that baseline to see that era stuff in action football. Yep. It's found in there. And I forgot there's cross era. I honestly think, and I don't know if you've done any work yet with the Packers, Steve. Pitch to O'Leary. Here's a ground ball to Olerud, and John's going to misplay it so I can finish this story. Then if you look at Starr, he's got a 60% pass completion, and they're not terrible with the kicking stuff. I've always kind of liked the idea of throwing them into a modern, replacing them for a modern Packer season and see how they do. That was the team that lost to Mr. Tate's Lions on Thanksgiving, and probably up until the 72 Dolphins was the best team in NFL history. Varitek is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So forgive the football talk on a baseball stream. Pitch, well, Lampkin and Seeley will have a word. Aaron deals, runner on first, isn't going to go anywhere. Ground ball to Olerud, John to the bag. And it's stretch time. 1-0 ball game. Red Sox. So Nomo will start the 7th. He's on 104 pitches. And he will at least face Javier, who has struck out twice. A good effort for Nomo. And he's on the right side of a 1-0 lead. Pitch to Javier. And Stan draws the walk. So anything now is a tying run. Full count. Splitter was in the dirt, and Stan just took it. Here's Lampkin. Tom is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Russian Reb is doing a strat card and dice project, I'm assuming with football from 82. So hard to find games. You'll notice that mid-'80s there's a lot just because people got VCRs. Oh, baseball. Okay. Yeah, not a lot of baseball games. Although there is one YouTuber, whose name should not be mentioned in public, that did the entire 82, not every game, but did this project with 82. And you can watch him if you know what his channel is. Lampkin. Got him. That's 9 for Nomo. A 1-2 fastball on the outside corner. And Bell, I think, is the last batter either way for Hideo. David's 0 for 2. Steve says Starr, for example, in your 5-year file, has a 59% completion rate in an era that was 51.4%. So he's quite a bit above average. Moving to more modern seasons, and that 59% may be as high as the high 60s. Yeah, I'm thinking that there's always been Phil Cook, who is a connoisseur of older seasons. Pitch to Bell is a ground ball to Nomo. He'll go to Steins to get the out there, and the throw to first is late, so it's a 1-4 fielder's choice, 2 out, and Nomo will get Guillen. You know, Phil's point is that if you took an older team, they wouldn't be able to compete with a newer team. And certainly the biggest disadvantage for a 40s, 50s, 60s, and even a 70s team against a team from today isn't necessarily the quarterback, it's the kicking. Straight-ahead kickers just weren't all that accurate unless your name was Groza. Carlos, by the way, has struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. And he goes down again, and for Nomo, that's his day, and that's 10. So a good effort. No runs, no hits, no errors. How you doing, Mr. Howard? We go to the 8th. Remember, it's a doubleheader day on Retro Sports Network. 1-0 Boston. So Hillenbrand, Daubach, and Lansing to face Seeley, who has pitched a gem, but gave up the home run. But I think the other thing with those older teams, who was the last? It was one of the Bars, wasn't it? B-A-H-R. Steve says, love action, and that's great for many things like gameplay, video, chalkboard, reporting, realism. But yet that's true. Accounting for different errors of cross-area gameplay. Absolutely true. Pitch to Hillenbrand. Shea got him. Shea's gone, and that'll do it for Seeley. So Arthur Rhodes coming in, pitching change with 1 out in the 8th. This game coming to you from Safeco Field in Seattle. So Rhodes, 31 years old, a fastball pitcher at 93, making his 14th appearance. He is 0-1 with a 3.38 ERA. Last pitched on the 29th against the White Sox. That's his only loss. 1 inning, 1 run. It was a solo homer, 21 pitches, and 2 strikeouts. So 10 2/3 for Arthur. 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 homers, which is a lot for a reliever. 4 walks and 14 strikeouts. And we will pinch hit for Brian Daubach here. Am I really going to have to go with the man, the myth, the legend, Jose Offerman at first? Who can hit a lefty? Dante Bichette. As a pinch, Mark Mosley, he won an MVP as a straight-ahead kicker. Bichette 2 for 3, a homer and 2 RBIs, a pinch hitter. 304, 2 homers and 3 RBIs. I think there was one after Mosley. Steve Tate's doing the Negro League stuff. Him and Beatles are doing some really good videos right now. That 5-year football file. So yeah, quarterback completion percentage, I think, is just as big of a factor in cross-era play for football. Yeah, well, for the Browns, I think Barr got hurt 1 year, and the Browns brought him in. Mosley. Okay. 86 or 7, wasn't it? Out of retirement. Was that the year that they beat the Jets in double overtime? Pitch to Bichette. There's a ground ball to Boone. Brett in front of the bag over to first for the out. So 2 out for Lansing, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. There's a ground ball to Gian. Carlos to the left of the bag, throws to first for the out, and that will retire the side. We're going to change the pitcher. 86, one of the greatest games ever, and lost in the history of that just because of what would happen the next week. Yeah, the Jets blew it. And then Denver broke their hearts in the next week. To watch, yeah, what, and that's how they did it. So that'll do it for Nomo. It is, am I bringing in Shurik? Who's my closer? Lowe. Not going to bring in Lowe. Oh, Lowe can pitch 2 innings? There'll be Derek Lowe, who can pitch 2 innings. He's 1-2 with 4 saves and an earner run average of .552. He has converted 4 of 7 saves. And Jimmy Williams is going to try for Derek to go the 6 outs. 28 years old, fastball pitcher at 93. DJ John, how are you? Been a while. Fastball pitcher at 93. Last pitched against Kansas City on the 28th in a 2-out save, or 2-inning save. 9-3 win. 26 pitches, a walk, and a strikeout. So overall, Lowe, who I would not normally use as a closer, but that's who they went with. 14 2/3, 22 hits, 9 runs, all earned. The homer came against the Twins. He has walked 9 while striking out 15. Good luck. He starts with Ichiro, who is 0 for 3. Steve Cox was a punter, but would kick long field goals. Late 80s with Washington. And the game insists I use a first baseman. What do you mean I got to field all 9 positions? And we bring in Offerman, who's a 3. So the Red Sox not winning any Gold Gloves in this infield. Pitch to Ichiro from low, ground ball, base hit left side. Only the 3rd hit for the M's. They've left on 6, 0-3-1 for Seattle. 6 left on. The Red Sox, the only run of the ball game came on a 4th inning homer to right center from Carl Everett. 2 hits, an error, and they've left on 2. McLemore is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Did I know that the big white arch out beyond left field, is the home of the Seattle Sounders? We talked about that before. Right across the street, the old Kingdome is actually on that site. Another pitcher's duel. We've had a bunch. Got him. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. So 1 out for Edgar, who's 1 for 3 with a double. Ichiro with great speed. There is the stadium that you see under the Red Sox lineup. So Ichiro back. Some other football team. Is it the Denver Broncos? Pitch to Edgar. There's a fly ball to O'Leary. That should stay in the yard for the out. So, Mr. Howard, I take it, since part of Safeco T-Mobile is over railroad tracks, is this an old railroad yard? CenturyLink, or Lumen, was the old Kingdome. Olerud, by the way, has walked twice. He's 0 for 1. 2 out, runner on first. Olerud swings. There is a liner in the center field. That's going to be a base hit. Everett will pick it up. Ichiro looks. Will he go for 3rd? He will. Everett trying to uncork a good throw. It's going to be close, actually, over there. And they did not get him. Hillenbrand got on the tag, but Ichiro's hand was there beforehand. So 2 out, runners on the corner for Brett Boone, who was 1 for 3. Low. That's a base hit, and there goes the save. O'Leary will pick it up off a hop. Ichiro will score. This good-sized crowd here in Seattle's happy with it. Olerud will go to third without a throw. 2 out. In a 1-1 tie. So here's Javier. Stan has struck out twice. So all that work for Nomo got him nothing. Steins, Nixon, and Everett for the Red Sox in the 9th. Pitch to Javier. Stan hits a slow ground ball to Steins, well on the grass. Snap throw to Offerman, and Javier is retired. Sasaki coming in to pitch. Remember, computers running in Seattle. They go to the 9th, 1-1. Low blew it. Yep. And that's why Jimmy Williams didn't finish the year as manager. Sasaki has saved 11 ball games in 12 chances. Not a save situation here. 1-0 with an earned run average of 193. He's 33 years old, over from Japan. He throws the splitter at 89. He was, the Rookie of the Year in 2000 and an extreme fly ball pitcher. Shut the door last night against the Red Sox on the first. 1 inning, 13 pitches, and 2 strikeouts. Overall, 14 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 homers. That came against the Rangers in a save. 2 walks and 16 strikeouts. Steins 1 for 3 with a double. The Seattle passenger train station, King Street Station, is behind Lumen from this angle, and the tracks serving the industrial district to the south all run under the Safeco roof when it's open. So what was this before they built it? Was it a parking lot for the Kingdome? How'd that work? Steins lines this one foul, third base side, and somebody from Belleville will make the catch. 0-2 the count. Nobody out. 1-1 tie here in the 9th. Right back to Sasaki, over to Olerud, 1 out. Phils and Giants warming up at the Vet. Immediately to follow right here on Retro Sports Network. Here's Nixon. Trots 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Sasaki delivers. That's into left center. Javier moving over and will make the catch. 2 out for Everett. If we run past 1 o'clock in game 1, then we won't do game 2. We'll tack that on to a doubleheader tomorrow. But you're going to get a doubleheader this week, somehow, some way. Here's Everett. Carl with a lone Red Sox run in the 4th, a home run. And him and Steins are the only 2 to get base hits off of Aaron Seeley, Arthur Rhodes, and now Kazuro Sasaki. Pitch to Everett. Got him! He struck him out, swung on and missed a fastball. So we go to the bottom of the 9th here in Seattle. Derek Lowe in for his 2nd inning of work. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 8.5, it's the Red Sox 1, the Mariners 1. So Lampkin has struck out 3 times today. Oh, it was a big vacant lot. They paved Paradise and put up a parking lot. Owned by a Sonics owner who wanted to build an arena there. It's now Climate Pledge Arena, where the Kraken play, remodeled for 2023's amenities, was Key Bank Arena when the Sonics played, and before that it was the Seattle Arena. Although there were a few years when the Sonics played at the Kingdome. Those seats must have been god-awful. Pitch to Lampkin. That hit him. So the winning run is on via a hit by pitch, and Mike Cameron's going to pinch run. So that got him on the leg. And Lampkin was smiling all the way to first. Here's Bell. David's 0 for 3. 53 degrees now here in Seattle. I think Lowe winced more at that pitch than Lampkin did. Runner stays. Bell might be 2 here if they hurry. Hillenbrand, and that rolls foul. So the count is 1-2. Lowe is going to implode. I'm looking at the average here. Well, Cameron now in a good position to steal. Lowe throws to first. And they got him! Hofferman tagged him out. So they got him napping, and it's 1-3. A 1-2 count to Bell now with 1 out. And Lowe just kind of smiles. I feel like I should be doing something for Home Depot as a equal time thing here. The 1-2 to Bell. Got him. Got him on the inside corner. And there's 2 out for Guillen. Last chance saloon before extra innings. Guillen has struck out all 3 times. 2 out. Bottom of the 9th in a 1-1 game. It'll be Ramirez, O'Leary, and Varitek unless Seattle pulls this one out right now. Fly ball right field, but that's going to hook. Foul, and someone from Portland made that catch. So 2-2 the count. Lowe has already gone 43 pitches. The 2-2. Right back to Derek. Throws it over to Offerman, and it's free baseball in game 1. So no runs, no hits, and no errors. We've played 9 here in Seattle. It's the Red Sox 1, the Mariners 1. So Sasaki will face, in his second inning of work, Manny, O'Leary, and Varitek. So the crowd a bit antsy here at Safeco. No butts, no cuts, no coconuts. Pitch to Manny. Right past Boone for a base hit into center field. So Dan Wilson comes in the game to catch. He's a 7-2. That brings up O'Leary. Troy is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Scotty had second row upper deck seats behind the basket for the Sonics for the last 14 years they were there. Great seats because they didn't put a full hockey arena in the Key Arena. For hockey, the goal on our end was recessed under the overhang of seats. Do you go to the Storm games at all? Pitch to O'Leary. Got him! 2-2 curveball, swung on and missed. So 1 out for the captain, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Ichiro, McLemore, and Edgar for the M's in the 10th. That's another one. And that'll do it for Sasaki. Jose Paniagua coming in to pitch. 2 out in the 10th. And a pitching change. This game coming to you from Safeco Field in Seattle. So Jose making his 9th appearance of the year. 27 years old. Fastball at 94. And a ground ball pitcher. Hasn't pitched since the 27th. He took the loss against the White Sox. I think that was the game I did. 6'5", 27 pitches, 3 hits, an unearned run. Ouch. And the loss, 1-1 with an earned run average of 3, flat. 12 innings, 15 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. He walked 5 and struck out 11. You have been. Last year they won over $100. So you haven't been in a while. Do they play at Climate Pledge? So when Seattle finally gets an NBA team, that's where obviously they're going to play. Johnny says very familiar with the area after driving around 30 minutes looking for parking. Easy to get off and on the highway just as long as you're trying not to park for a Sounders game. Not for that other team. Hillenbrand is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And he hits this one to first. Olerud on the bounder, takes it to the bag, and that will retire the side. That'll do it. After 9.5, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Bottom of the 10th, 1-1. El Guapo coming on for the Red Sox. Rich Garces making his 9th appearance of the year, 30 years old. Curveball at 89 and a fly ball pitcher. Last pitched on the 29th. 8-3 win over Kansas City. Garces went 2 innings, 29 pitches, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. 11 innings for Rich. 9 hits, 6 runs all earned, walked 4 and struck out 10. 1-0. That win came against Baltimore on April 5th, and an earned run average of 491. Now that Stewie's gone to New York, they'll lower the prices. So Ichiro, McLemore, and Martinez trying to walk this off for Seattle. Ichiro 1 for 4. He is singled and scored. Garza starts his effort with a base hit into center field, and just like that, the winning run is on. Brings up McLemore, who is 0 for 4. He has struck out 3 times. He does have 2 game winners on the year. Scotty parks up north and takes the light rail to the stadiums. The worst is when the M's and the Sounders are both playing. Do they try not to put the M's and the Seahawks at the same time? I know it's not a tremendous amount of overlap, but throw to first, and Ichiro is back. Pitch out, no one going. A ball and no strikes. McLemore looks at strike 1. Ichiro couldn't get the jump. So the Mariners trying to think of how they can create this run, and you got the Julia Child of creativity at first. Ichiro stays put. McLemore strikes out. He looked at a 1-2 curve, slaps the bat down, and there's 1 out for Martinez. It's not been McLemore's day. He's fanned 4 times. So here's Edgar Martinez. He is 1 for 4. He has a double. There goes Ichiro. The throw down to Steins, and they got him. A close call, but they threw him out. And there's 2 out and nobody on for Edgar, who is 1 for 4 with a double. 2 out, bottom of the 10th. And he walks Edgar. So once again, the winning run on base, this time for John Olerud, is 1 for 2. He is singled and walked twice. Garces from the stretch. Popped up, left center field. Everett, going back a bit, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. After 10, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1-1. Red Sox a run on 3 hits and error, and they've left on 3. Offerman will lead off the 11th. Mariners 1 run, 6 hits and error, and they've left on 9. Light rail also serves the Kraken games. Last year we had some 3 game nights. No M-Hawk same day games, but the Sounders and M's. That would make sense. Although I think they're trying for MLS to have them all Wednesday and Saturday, right? It's part of the new Apple Plus deal. The M's are a decent team, Brad. Offerman, I forgot to read you his stats, and he's on with an extra base hit. Suzuki will play it off the wall. Jose is in with his 4th double of the year. Because I'm a scallywag, Offerman now at 256, a homer, and 7 RBI, now with his 4th double. Yes, you've heard of the 2001 Mariners, I think, quote, in quotes, decent. I never, between you and our old dear friend, I never knew if you were Waldorf or Statler. Here's Lansing. Mike is 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Did you get the 40s Diamond Gems? I'll wait to pick up the Japanese teams. John says, I guess I'm spoiled by the Philadelphia sports complex. When you get off the highway, you can go straight left or right. Doesn't matter. There's parking everywhere, not just for the complex, but every business down there opens up their lights up for any event. I'm sure. That was intentionally done. Sounders generally have twice the crowd as the M's, but when the M's are winning, they can both draw 40,000 on a good night. Sounders draw extremely well. And Brad will order after payday. Lansing 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Paniagua's pitch is into left center. Javier makes the catch. Offerman goes back to tag. And we will not take the coin flip. Chance 2 out, or 1 out. For Steins. Amazing how popular soccer is. I just think it's a younger crowd. And Seattle's always been a good team. Portland and San Jose, too. I mean, Washington is all part of the Louisiana Purchase anyway, so it's been part of the American scene since 1803, but we do think of it as newer than those of us who live here on the ancient East Coast, especially here in the Northeast. What do I want to do with Steins? We're going to swing him away. Steins, it's a ground ball to third. Bell looks Offerman back, throws to first. And Steins is retired. Offerman with 2 out on second for Trot Nixon, who's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Boone, Javier, and Wilson here in the 11th. There goes Offerman. Ground ball to Paniagua. Jose actually is going to the bag. Olerud will field it over to Jose, and that will retire the side. Red Sox leave a runner on. No runs, a hit, and no errors. Garces will start the 11th. 1-1. And yes, the Sounders are the MLS team for Seattle. So Boone, Javier, and Dan Wilson. Brett 2 for 4. He has singled twice and driven in a run. Sounders at 69,274 hold the stadium record, much to the other football team's chagrin, for the MLS Cup final. Now you're going to be in some FIFA tournaments. So what's the best pitcher's park these days? Safeco, Petco, or Co-America? I can't give you any empirical evidence, but I would say Petco. Boone is 2 for 4. He has singled twice and driven in a run his 24th. In the left, O'Leary. 1 out. So here's Javier. Stan is 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. We go past the 12th. It is going to be a singleton today. We'll do the doubleheader tomorrow. Well, we'll see. Let's see how fast this goes. Javier 0 for 3, a walk and 2 strikeouts. Ground ball to third. Hillenbrand over to Offerman for the out. So here's Wilson, 190, 2 homers, and 6 RBI. The app just kicked you out and restarted because I needed that penny, John. That's my share of the Singleton Ave revenue, is a penny. Club World Cup Tournament, first MLS team to be there, is this Saturday morning for the Sounders. Who are you playing? Pitch to Wilson. Got him! So we go to the 12th. Strike 3 call after 11. 1-1. I got to remember to pull Garces. So Everett, Ramirez, and O'Leary here in the 12th. Everett, a solo homer. That came in the 4th, and that is a lone Red Sox run. He is 1 for 4. That was the 6th of the year. And he has struck out. Paniagua starts the 12th with a strikeout. A 1-2 fastball in there at the knees, strike 3. So that brings up Manny, who was 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Line drive again, and Carlos makes a good play. 2 out. So Paniagua has thrown 2 complete innings. Here's O'Leary. Troy is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Paniagua delivers. Fly ball right field. Ichiro moving over, and that ball is foul. What's the best tabletop soccer game? Classic is the one I own, John. I have it for the computer. I've seen good things about APA Soccer. And Daishinaya 2 is being worked on, by the way. And we'll have a computer version. O'Leary is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. You guys play Al Ahly of Egypt on Saturday. If you win, you get Real Madrid. I will say a novena for you. Pitch to O'Leary. Ball 4. So the go-ahead run is on. And Norm Charlton coming in to pitch. Soccer Blast from Play is a good highlight game. That's got a variety of teams. The old nasty boy making his 8th appearance of the year. He doesn't have a record, an earned run average of 470. Norm is 38. Fastball at 90 and a ground ball pitcher. The Sheriff last pitched on the 28th against the White Sox in a 5-2 win. He went 2 1/3 innings, which is a lot because he's only rated for 20 pitches. 37 pitches, 2 hits. A run it was earned and struck out 2. So overall, 7 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs all earned, 2 homers. He has walked 5 and struck out 10. John likes Hockey Blast, but the cards are too small. Saw Al Red Sox fan was doing History Maker Baseball with the Continental League cards, and they are full-sized, which I think is easier. They are there. Before you forget, just in case you don't watch Rich Eisen, I watch some of his stuff. Charlie Steiner I love Charlie Steiner, and shared a story or 2 about being stolen. Come and get your whooping, Charlie. Where's Charlie? Come and get your whooping. Veritek is 0 for 4. Yeah, great idea for a what if the Continental League. I believe they carded Ted Williams for that, too. So the go-ahead run on first, 2 out. Charlton's pitch. Got him! So Veritek down for the 3rd time today after 10 1/2. No runs, no hits, no errors. It's still 1-1. So Garces' day is done. It's helpful if I hit the right button. Rolando Araujo coming in to pitch for the Red Sox. 3-0 with a 1.06 ERA. 32 years old, fastball at 89, standard pitcher. His 3 wins, good enough for 23rd in the American League. Last pitched against the Royals on the 28th. He got the win in a 9-3 laugher over the Royals. 2 1/3 innings, 40 pitches. He can go 80. A hit, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. 17 innings, 12 hits, 2 runs, both earned. The home run came against the Yankees on the 22nd of April. He walked 3 and struck out 12. Scotty replayed the entire 14 NWSL season with Soccer Blast. Fun project. The Seattle Reign were the dominant team. And yet the older you get, the more size matter twos. I understand the draw to a smaller card, unless you got a print. But knowing that most of us are, well, not 16, you would think that tiny print and older eyes are 2 things that get along as well as, you probably figure it out from there. Here's David Bell. He's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Guillen and Ichiro here in the 12th. To first, Offerman for the out, 1 away. So here's Guillen. Carlos 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. We've had a combined 10 hits in this game. as we play the bottom of the 12th inning. Fly ball, right center. Everett going back, but it'll stay. 2 out. 49 degrees, still no wind. Pitchers have been blown on their hands since about the 8th. Ichiro 2 for 5 with a run scored. He has singled twice and was thrown out trying to steal. That was in the 9th. Ground ball past Stein's, base hit. So the winning run is on again. And Ichiro is 3 for 6. That's the good news for Seattle. The bad news is Mark McLemore is 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Throw to first. Offerman tags Suzuki, and Ichiro says, I wasn't going anywhere. What are you talking about? 2 out. There goes Ichiro. The throw down to Lansing, and Ichiro has number 11. So the winning run is now in scoring position for McLemore. Big Dave, how are you? If we do a game 2, it depends on how fast we can get game 1 done. Already at an hour and 21 for game 1. And the funny thing is, that if it was 9, we were actually under the hour. McLemore to Arroyo over to first, and that will retire the side. We go to the 13th. The Mariners have left on 10. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 12, it's still 1-1. I'm glad you're doing well. Again, I need to have game 2 started by about 1 to get the wife off to work on time. So if not, if we don't get it in the next 9 minutes or so, and then 11:30 tomorrow, it'll be Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Cleveland, Tampa. The longest game I think we've ever done for baseball, I think, was like opening day. We're supposed to do a doubleheader. Put the cat on it. Guarantee she won't let your wife sleep in. No, she's got to go to work. I'm doing well, thanks, Dave. And Ron has to do bathroom-type stuff. So there needs to be a handoff at some point. Hillebrand's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That got away from Wilson to throw down to Olerud, 1 out. That's 2 for Norm. So I think that was 16 innings, the Yankees and the Royals opening day. That was a doubleheader that got shoved off. I think in the 500 or so games that we've done doing baseball on Retro Sports Network, I think I've had a 17 or 18 inning game in there. And at that point, you just want it over. Offerman is doubled. He's 1 for 1. Charlton winds and deals right to Guillen. Carlos has to be patient with it. Throws to first for the out. Hope Bernie's okay. He's not here today. 2 out here in the 13th for Lansing, who's 0 for 4 with the strikeout. Martinez, Olerud, and Boone in the bottom of the 13th to face Rolando Arroyo. Pitch to Lansing. Struck him out. So he swings and misses, and that'll do it. The Red Sox have been held to 4 hits through 13 innings. After 12 and a half, 1-1. So Martinez, Olerud, and Boone here in the 13th. Crowd has stayed put. 49 here at Safeco. Edgar swings. That's into center. Actually, it's on the short center. Lansing is there on the grass. 1 out. For Olerud is 1 for 3. John is singled and walked twice. Piniella enjoying Earl Weaver's Chesterfields in the tunnel. We figure about 2 hours for a doubleheader. I think the longest single broadcast I've done for baseball. An hour and 36. It's just a long time to talk solo. Olerud to Steins in front of the bag. 2 out. So here's Boone. Brett 2 for 5. He drove in the Mariners' only run. Back in the 8th. Singled home Ichiro. Has his 24th RBI. Pitch to Boone. To third. Hillenbrand's going to have to run in on it. Throws over to Offerman. And we go to the 14th. So that will bring up Chris Steins. No runs, no hits, no errors. Again, 1 run, 4 hits, an error for Boston. They'd left on 5. Seattle will run on 7 hits and an error, and they've left on 10. John, 2 hours is a long time to talk solo? You haven't met my ex-wife. John. So, see what they do at Charlton. Steins 1 for 5. He has doubled. Charlton stays in the ballgame. High ground ball to Boone. Brett makes a diving stop over to first. 1 out. And Brett Tomko will come in to pitch. First time we've seen Brett. He's already made 3 starts. He must have got hurt because he only made 4 on the year. And I'm thinking to myself, as Tomko came in, wasn't he a starter? 28 years old, fastball at 90, and a fly ball plus pitcher. He is 2-0 with an earned run average of .216. But he must have pitched hurt at some point. He last started on April 18th, 6 innings, a 3-2 no decision. They won the ballgame over Texas. 79 pitches, 2 hits, a run. It was earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. So Tomko fits the 49 file just fine. 16 2/3 for Brett. 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He has walked 9 while striking out 7. So Nixon is 0 for 5. He has struck out once. There's a ground ball to Boone. Second verse, same as the first, 2 out. For Carl Everett, who is 1 for 5, his home run in the 4th remains the lone run for the Red Sox. He has struck out twice. Line drive right back to Tomko, and that'll do it. So no runs, no hits, no errors. After 13 and a half, it is still 1-1. So Javier is 0 for 4. Stan has walked once and struck out twice. Wilson and Bell to follow. And if you're wondering, the game says 4 hours and 39 minutes. Imagine being in New England. This being a 10 o'clock start in the Boston metropolitan area. It is now 2:45 in the morning. 1-1 through 14. Someone forgot to take their B12 and use their cream. M's got Tomko from Cincinnati for Griffey Jr. No pressure there. None at all. So on the East Coast, we wander towards 3 a.m. Here's Javier. He is 0 for 4. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Stan ground ball to Lansing. Mike's got to hurry. Stan can run, and Stan is safe. So the winning run is on an infield single. And then they'll bring up Dan Wilson, who struck out his first time up. He has 9 game-winning RBIs of the 17 for the Mariners. How can he have 9 game-winning RBIs when he's only driven in 6? Methinks that's an error. Pitch to Wilson, hit him. So Rowe hits Wilson. So first and second, nobody out for Bell. David is 0 for 5. He has struck out once. Rolando delivers. Got him! A 1-2 fastball on the inside corner, and that's a big out. So here's Carlos Guillen, who's 0 for 5. He has struck out 3 times. A flare into left center. Everett running in, and that will be the second out. Javier tags. The throw goes to third, but Javier wasn't chasing. And so now that we've crossed into the 1 o'clock hour in real time, tomorrow's doubleheader will start at 11:30. It'll be Philadelphia and hosting the Giants, and then Cleveland and Tampa from my grandmother's backyard in St. Petersburg. Ichiro is 3 for 6. He has singled 3 times. He has scored a run, was thrown out trying to steal, and stole a base. The Mariners have 8 hits. The Red Sox have 4. First and second, Javier the winning run. Dan Wilson pulls out the Adirondack chair and sits on first. Arroyo's pitch. There's a line drive to left. O'Leary's going to pick it up. Javier's going to round third. They can run on O'Leary. They got to try it, and the Mariners win the ball game. What a day for Ichiro Suzuki. He goes 4 for 7. And wins it. Ichiro again. And the Mariners walk it off by the score of 2-1. And if you look at 10:05, you add 4 to that to make it 2:05. And so at 2:54 a.m. in Boston, Massachusetts, the Mariners win this one in 14, 2-1. 2 runs, 9 hits, and an error. Brett Tomko, oh, by the way, goes to 3-0. The Mariners leave on 10. The Red Sox, 1 run, 4 hits, and an error, and they left on 5. They dropped to 16 and 11. Sealy and Nomo pitched gems. Combined, they went 14 and a third and allowed 4 hits. Hideo struck out 10, walked 3 in his 7. Dropped his ERA to 145. Derek Lowe blew the save for Boston. Rich Garces allowed a hit in his 2 innings. And Arroyo, 2 2/3, and Ichiro was just a bridge too far. For the Mariners, 7 1/3 for Sealy. 2 hits, the solo shot by Everett, that came in the 4th. And he struck out 6. But Rhodes, look at that. I mean, 6 1/3 is scoreless relief. Rhodes for 2/3. Sasaki for an inning and 2/3. Paniagua for 2. Charlton for an inning and 2/3. And Tomko out of the pen for 2/3. In fact, the Red Sox, after 1 out in the 7th, only had 2 more hits. The Mariners huffed and puffed and finally blew the door down. And so, of course, our Digital to Dice MVP is Juan Ichiro, who went 4 for 7 with a stolen base and a game-winning hit. Just in case you're wondering, we had 445 pitches thrown in this game. So the rest of this Wednesday in baseball, and so it'll get the Friday-Saturday doubleheader tomorrow again, 11:30. Redeem your rain checks for that one, because we've been on now for 1:34 just to play the first game. So, on this May 2nd, 2001, the Pirates beat the Giants 6-4. Lionel Richie goes to 2-3. Russ Ortiz is 3-2 now. Rios 2 for 3 is 5th of the year. Dodgers beat the Reds 4-2. Kevin Brown 1-2. Pete Harnish 1-3. Yep, the Dodgers are playing rope-a-dope. Marquise Grissom 3 for 4 is 3rd of the year with a triple. Colorado 11-5 over Philly. Mike Myers 1-1. Person 1-2. Larry Walker 1 for 2 is 6th of the year and walked 3 times. So yeah, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 tomorrow to get this doubleheader caught up. Mets beat the Astros 4-1. Kevin Appier 2-2. Jose Lima 1-3. Craig Biggio 4 for 4, a double and a stolen base. Arizona goes to Montreal and beats them 5-2. Anderson 1-2. Strickland 2-1 now. Luis Gonzalez 2 for 4 is 9th of the year and drives in 2. Cardinals double up the Marlins 10-5. Mike Morris 2-1. Brad Penny 2-3. Fernando Vina 3 for 5. Brewers beat the Braves. What's up with the Atlanta Braves? 8-2. Rigdon goes to 3-3. Greg Maddux 1-2. White 3 for 5 is 2nd of the year and drives in 3. Oh, he drove in 2nd of the year and drives in 3. Tampa shuts out Baltimore 1-0. Roop A 2-2. Mercedes 4-2 with the loss. Esteban Llanes 13th save. Cubs beat the Padres 10-3 at Wrigley. John Lieber 3-1. Jarvis 5-1. WWU softball starts tomorrow in California. Woohoo! Supposed to be 45 below zero here Saturday morning with the wind chill. Texas beats Detroit 4-3. Oliver 2-2. Murray 0-3. David Palmer 2 for 3 is 1st of the year. Yankees pound out 16 hits and lose in 12 innings to Minnesota 4-3. Rafael Santana, I hear good things about him. 1-0. Williams 1-3. Scott Brocious 2 for 3 is 3rd of the year and a double. Kansas City beats Cleveland 8-7. Ross Grimsley 2-0. Rincon 1-1. Omar Vizquel 3 for 5, a triple and a stolen base. Oakland beats Toronto 8-3. Mark Mulder. The game not called by Vin Scully. Yeah, we're staying in. Goes to 3-1. Esteban Loaiza goes to 1-4. Delgado 2 for 3 is 5th of the year. And last but not least, Anaheim beats the White Sox 4-3. Jared Washburn 2-1. Kip Wells 1-1. And Troy Percival gets his 2nd save. So, yep, that'll do it for this one. Again, we hope for doubleheader action tomorrow. It's just a long time to talk, 1:37. I'm Ron Chuckett. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for hopefully 2. Have a good one, everybody.